wasn't comfortable. I felt you guys missed some chances. Even at 2-0, the game was still open. What's his name?
Joel.
Was it Almiron that missed that chance? That was the turning point of that game. He should have buried that. No excuses. The one that hit the post, fine, I understand that, but he should have buried that. And we're hanging on for some time in the first half, to be honest. So yeah, the scoreline flattered us a little bit, to be honest, but I think we deserve the win, over the 90 minutes. But you guys played some counter-attacking football. You guys really worried us, and you guys seem to be very physically fit, and we're bouncing off you guys. So it was a good game.
It's a tale of two halves once again. I mean, that first half, it was, look at that deflected effort that Leno had to make that save. I thought that was it, and if you lot got the first goal, it could have been a very different game. I think that Arteta really let into them at half-time, because that first half performance, it was not what I expected to see after a 2-week winter break in Dubai. I mean, these players get paid well enough as it is. On top of that, in their break, they're getting brought out to Dubai. But come back and show some passion. Exactly, nice for some, you know what I mean? I've been here working 9 to 5 the last 2 weeks, and then it's nice to come to a 4-0 win, but like you said, the first half was ropey.
Yeah, so this season it's been obviously not the greatest, and Mikel coming in has been drawing pretty much every game, so to come here, I wasn't expecting a win. I was expecting another draw, and then when it was 0-0 at half-time, I thought, here we go again. I don't know what happened at half-time, what he said to them. We come out a whole different team.
At half-time, if someone would have come up to me and said, look, we beat Newcastle 4-0, I wouldn't have believed it, Listen, Newcastle are a tough nut to crack,
Scared you the first probably 20-25 minutes?
But without a doubt, I thought you was better side in the first 20 minutes, if I'll be honest. Played really, really well. And always looked lively on the break, and a bit of finishing maybe could have got a goal. But I felt goals change games, and as soon as we scored it just sort of give us a bit of confidence, and we went on from there. But from my point of view, to beat Newcastle 4-0 is unbelievable. I didn't think that we would do that.
Happy bunny, mate, that's an understatement, man. I am buzzing. 4-0 Newcastle. Let me take this, Mike Lee. I think I'll take over from here. Lee, let me tell you something, yeah? Steve Bruce has done a fantastic job this season, right?
You're going to interview me?
No, yeah, I am, because I believe, Steve Bruce doesn't get the props he deserves. He came in after Rafa Benitez, who was exceptional. I think we all thought Steve was going to fail, but he turned it round. You know what I mean? You're nowhere near relegation. Do you know what I'm saying? You're safe in the Premier League. You got 1 or 2 players that can perform a bit better, but you're not in trouble. It's been a good season.
Been a better season what I thought it would be, sitting 12th in the league, and we're going to be safe, aren't we?
Exactly, 100% safe. But today that's not the case, Lee. You came to the Emirates. Take a look at that, cameraman. Take a look at that. Yeah, you see? Now take it back. No, back this way. Back my way. No, that's it. 4-0, mate.
Second best
Four different scorers. Pepe with 2 assists. Saka running. Yeah, the wing backs ragged. Do you know what I mean? Even Ozil got gifted a late Valentine's Day present, because God knows he needed it. Do you know what I'm saying? And we did what we used to do before. We did what we used to do when Dennis Bergkamp would be flicking balls, past Sylvain Distan. Do you know what I mean? So it's old school stuff. It's old school stuff.
That's what I'm saying. After that, you guys still missed those 2 chances with Almiron and Joel. Have they gone in? It's a different ball game. And remember that there was a long injury to your defender, Clark, and then after that, you guys picked up the momentum again. So that broke our momentum. You guys picked up the momentum, and at that point, I was scared, because 2-0 lead is not a healthy lead. So
not when you're an Arsenal fan.
No, exactly. So it's not healthy at all. So if you guys had gotten one back, panic stations maybe 2. So I'm happy with the win, but yeah, you guys were unlucky. But I thought I heard some of your fans chanting about the manager.
When we got the first goal, a few of us around, we were saying we need the second, because in recent games we failed to get a second goal and capitalise on and build on the first. We got that soon after, and I think that pretty much took the wind out of the sails for Newcastle. At 1-0, I think, playing Arsenal at Emirates right now is a sensitive time for us. I think
it's an easy win for you, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Every time we come here, we get beat.
Listen, this is our only 7th win overall this season. I think 4th win at the Emirates, if I'm not mistaken. 3 have come away 4 at the Emirates, and this is the 4th one. So it's been a ropey season for us so far. But like you said, I think the back-to-back goals coming quickly really did change the game.
And us, Longstaff was just running at us. He looked so dangerous.
Alan saint-maximin, what do you think?
Oh yeah, saint-maximin was good as well. But let's get on to the Arsenal players. Saka was actually burning him on toast. Saka.
Nutmeg.
Yeah, but I need to see that on replay on Twitter all night, because I need it as a GIF. I need to send to everyone on my WhatsApp groups.
Didn't send to me.
No, but Saka, as an 18-year-old boy, he's come out of nowhere. he's had to be pushed into left back position. That's not his natural position. And in the first few games, he looked uncomfortable. But today, he looked like that was his role, and he looked so world class out there. For an 18-year-old boy, he looked like one of the most professional players on the pitch for most of the game, because a lot of the players, it took a while for them to warm into the game. Second half, they come out into the 30th minute, they were coming out, but from the first whistle, Saka was just on it.
What did you make of Alan Saint-Maximin today?
Exactly what he said. He's like, you don't really know what you're going to get with him, like, you know. But like, there was a couple of times he skinned Bellerin on a couple of occasions.
And that's quite a thing.
Yeah, you know.
He's
got pace, but he just burned past him one time, and you know, I think he's just got to stick with him. I think, like, you know, his first season, isn't it? You know what I mean? So I think that, you know, if he starts next season, I think he's a good player. I think Newcastle are a good side. I'm going to be honest with you, from the outside looking in, I don't think Steve Bruce gets a lot of credit for what he's actually done there. I think he's done a fantastic job. He's really put Newcastle. They're playing up there. They've gone and beaten some really decent teams this season. There's an organisation there. You could see that today. I know it didn't go for you there, like, but you know, at 0-0. It could have been anybody's game. You know, I don't think you would have. If someone would have turned around, you would have turned around at me and said, "I think Newcastle are going to nick this." I wouldn't have gone against you. So I think that, you know, from our point of view, that's a great result for us today.
I thought you were going to do us like what you did Man United the first time you played them this season. I was thinking, this is atrocious, poor football. I was not happy, and I didn't think Emery. I didn't think
you can have him back if you want.
I didn't think Arteta would be able to go into half time and motivate them to play the way they did.
Different side?
Yeah, different side. And everyone's saying, oh yeah, you know, the buy helped. Didn't look like it in the first half. You know, I reckon it's down to that manager, and it's down to the manager going inside saying, you know what, sort it out. But I'll be honest with you, we looked fit. We did finish the game very fit, fitter than what we have been.
No, he's done a good job, Steve Bruce.
Yeah, Zimmerman's done a good job. So
when I spoke to you in St James's early on the season, I was a little bit worried about that. Yeah. Obviously, it was the first game of the season. He's won 1-0. Didn't look great. Obviously, we had the boycott that day as well. But you know, he's done a fantastic job.
I heard chanting Steve Bruce, leave our get out of our club. I thought I heard something from yours.
Well, it wasn't me. That might be the minority, though.
The minority, yeah. But I mean, I think you guys are okay. I mean, you guys will still do well this season. So yeah, I'm not scared for you guys at all.
I might be wrong, but they've appealed it so far. So that sanction has been lifted until the appeal gets finalised. I don't think the appeal will be finalised before summer. So I think that they will be allowed in the Champions League next season, because the appeal process will take longer. And after the appeal process, I actually believe UEFA gave them 2 years, because they know on appeal it'll get brought down to a year. Whereas if they gave them a year on appeal, it could get brought down to nothing. So that's how I see that.
You're rubbing your hands like this.
Listen, if fifth becomes a viable route in the Champions League this season, then of course I'm rubbing my hands, because without this news, I gave up on a top 4 finish. I actually wanted us to finish out of the top 7, because if we don't win Europa League this year, then I'd rather have a clean slate next year. No Europe, no Europa League.
Well, look at Leicester.
Yeah, and look at Chelsea a few years ago when they finished 10th, and then the next year they won the league. Because I'm not saying we can win the league next year.
Storm Dennis is on his way.
Yeah, it's on his way, but let us focus on the league alone. You know what I mean? That's what I want to move on to next season.
Throughout, especially since January, we've been having this conversation so many times about, can we even achieve anything this year? And the most we can that we spoke about realistically is FA Cup, because Europe, it doesn't seem like, because the teams that are left in Europa League, they're not the easiest to beat, and then getting in Champions League seems like such a myth. But when this comes into play now, it's like, all right, let's pull our socks up a bit and try and get 5th. I know it sounds absurd, like Arsenal going for 5th, but it's what we've come to now. And I mean, if it's a way to get in Champions League, then of course we have to. And 3 points here tonight is major.
Exactly. I think that what you've seen now is what I've seen with Newcastle, with Steve Bruce. They've got an organisation, a platform. Now, obviously, Arsenal now have got that, but where it's different for us is that we've got like the Aubameyangs, we've got the Lacazettes, we've got the Pepes. You know what I mean? We're like blessed with a lot of talent in that area, like, you know. So if we can get the defensive shape like what we've shown today, then, you know, I think that Arteta and what he's doing, I think we're going to go a long way. So from an Arsenal fan point of view, I'm very, very pleased with that. Like, yeah.
That's Storm Dennis coming.
That's mad, isn't it? Yeah, it's can you imagine? It's Storm Dennis. It's cold out here, bro.
You should see that up north.
Yeah, really? Is it bad?
He's flooded the cameraman.
Oh, I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry, man. But yeah, like I said, amazing stuff. You know, I respect Newcastle football team, because I always say, when I look at you guys and everything you do, fair enough, you're safe, but let me say this from a Premier League fan, Newcastle is the European team. I've come to St James's Park many a time, right? And when I take a look at how big that stadium is, how colossal it is, I remember what Sir Bobby Robson was doing at that club. Alan Shearer, amazing stuff, massive respect for the Toons, bruv. Like, for me, that's a huge club. So I personally want to see Newcastle get back to a good stage, to a European stage. You know, even if you start off at Europa, but that is a Champions League club right there. People will think I'm crazy.
Champions League.
Listen, when you look at the stadium and you look at what they're about, they're built to be challenging for Champions League.
I'm looking at the Europa League, to be honest, more than
Because the fifth place is right there.
It looks right there, but the teams above us actually pursuing it. So you have Wolves that don't seem to like to lose a game. You have Sheffield United that play to their strengths and play okay. So there are a lot of teams, you know, really above us that we need to haul them down. I was praying for Tottenham to lose today. They didn't.
Last minute,
exactly. Yeah. So we need to be realistic about it. We still need to go to Wolves away. We still have to go to Tottenham away. So, and we've dropped so many times. We've been draw specialists this season. So I'm looking at the Europa League, to be honest.
I mean, under the circumstances, especially like you said, look at the first interview we had in the first game of the season. It was a very different setting. Not that setting and cloud has been lifted from both clubs. We've got a long way back for both clubs. I mean, more so for you because Ashley has been tightening that screw for a lot longer than Kroenke has with Arsenal.
Swap if you want.
No, I mean, listen, even if he wants to swap, I don't think neither of us will be happy. Do you know what I mean?
I think I'll be happier.
I might be a bit happier because I might catch Mike Ashley down London one day. With Kroenke, there's no catching him anywhere. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think obviously we've just, as football fans, they're trying to take us further and further apart from the club. They don't really care about us and want us to have a say. They just want us to blindly support, blindly buy, like it's a brand like Nike or shoe or whatever it is.
Customer.
Yeah, we're a customer now, not a fan. That's exactly the word.
I still feel like it's too soon to say. I mean, he's done wonders for. I shouldn't say wonders because we haven't gained that many points. I mean, if we're looking at stats, we were better under Emery statistically in terms of scoring goals and whatnot. But like the momentum and the style of play is so much better under Arteta, and you can see that the players are actually happy and that they enjoy the football. And as a fan, when I come to games, even though we might get a 0-0 or a 2-2 away at Chelsea, I actually enjoy watching the games now. So in that essence, yes. So hopefully, as time goes on, it just gets better and better. We progress under him.
No, listen, I honestly think that Man City will appeal and probably be successful. You know, I can't see them not being. But if they ain't, then there is that possibility for fifth. Listen, fourth is not going to happen. You know, but
Chelsea too far ahead.
I think Chelsea, Leicester. Probably too far ahead, you know, on obviously Man City and Liverpool. But fifth is there, you know. But we've got to start winning some games, and we've done that today. But unfortunately, there's teams above us that are winning as well. So we've left ourselves a tough ask, if I'll be honest. But we've still got the Europa League to go for as well. So people, you know, not writing us off for that. If we play like we are at the moment with if we can sort out that defensive side of our game, and then with those attacking players, we're a match for anybody. As you see today, I don't think, you know, there was too much difference between the two sides today, but our firepower just took us over the line.
As weird as it sounds, I don't know if Ashley's a good businessman or a bad businessman because he seems to keep things ticking. I would love to come up to Newcastle, speak to some of the fans and hear what the real side of the situation is. But like I said, Newcastle's a big club. You're still in the Premier League, which I'm happy to see. And yeah, man, on to the next.
It looks like Spurs, if I'm being honest. It looks like at the moment, I think they bought well with the Dutch guy they bought. And they seem to be playing just about okay, you know, without Harry Kane. So if we get our acts together, I think the Dubai trip has done us well. If we just get some wins, thank God we are now in positive goals difference, +2. We've been in minus since like 3-4 months now. So if we get a run, you know, it's still open, just like last season. It's still open, but I think our focus will be on the Europa League because if someone like Torreira is not starting, I'm wondering why you're dropping him. Maybe because of Europa League, who knows?
And it's sad to say, and these fan channels, you yourself, AFTV, United Stand, they are bridging the gap back because it is giving fans a voice, and I appreciate that massively, especially from someone like Rob who did start it all pretty much, and everything's come off the back of it. Because if it wasn't for these fan channels, if it wasn't for people like you coming to interview us fans and giving your own opinion, we'd be lost. would be lost. We'd just be talking amongst our social groups and social, having a beer, having a snack, whatever it is. And it,
Fancy beer right now.
yeah, I could do with one as well. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we don't often win 4-0, so I might as well
lose 4-0.
I might as well celebrate a bit. But yeah. I feel sorry for you lot because I understand what it's like having an owner that doesn't give a shit, and I think that's the bottom line of it.
Champions League. Do you know what I mean? It's not Champions League.
Okay, because expressions comes to walking along here, you'll tell you a few things.
Champions League, bro. It don't matter what expressions thinks. Yeah, you know them way there, fam. It don't matter what he thinks.
Do you reckon Man City will get this ban? Because it now opens up a door if that happens. To
What happens is the same thing, bro. You get a ban, and then you appeal it. You'll probably get a year. They'll get something, innit? Like
but still, that opens up 5th place, and he's literally behind Sheffield United now.
Yeah, exactly. But you got massive respect to Chris Wilder, bruv. No one's done what he's done. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's been playing amazing football. His centre backs are, you know what I mean, exceptional the way they play. Yeah, massive respect to them as well. But I think, look, it's February, man. The season don't finish till May. Anything can happen in between that time. So people need to just chill out. You know what I mean? Arteta is in the driving seat.
If you could take one Newcastle player and go into that Arsenal side, who would you pick?
It's a bit obvious who I'm going to say, I reckon.
Go on then.
Saint-Maximin.
Why?
I just think he looked good today, and I mean, he did a few skills. He Bellerin, he took the mick out of him. Oh my god! And he ruined Bellerin at some point in the game because there was that much space for him. But I'd say Saint-Maximin.
Lascelles.
Why?
Centre half. I think he's very, very dominant sort of centre half. I think he's got that leader quality as well. I've watched him for a few years and I've been quite impressed with him. Like, you know, I know he's had little injuries this season, but I do think he's got that leader quality. He's that sort of big, sort of commanding central defender that we need. So it would be him for me.
What's the guy, the black dude? Is it Maxi?
Alan Saint-Maximin.
I
need him.
To be honest with you, I would love a player like that, if I'm honest with you, because I think he takes on the defence. In the first half, I was very worried, because if you guys had a better number 9, someone who can hold the ball, someone who's in the area at the right place, then those balls that he's putting in that are going into nowhere, you get a poacher in there, and those chances turn into goals. He was running our defence ragged. Bruv, Bellerin was, I was just thinking to myself, is this guy still injured? Like, what's going on? I thought, like, and today, like, don't get me wrong, there's some things he tried that didn't work. He tried the pirouette a few times that didn't work. But either way, he was an attacking force. He was your outlet. And when I looked at him, he was the most impressive player, man.